Hey everybody, welcome to my segment this week. So, I'm going to be going over my experience going to a death metal showcase earlier this year in April. I'm fairly new to the metal scene. I've only been a participant in the metal scene for like a year and a half to 2 years. Really just kind of listened to like 80s metal and heavy metal. Didn't really genre hop much outside of that. But I was really excited to be able to write an article for one of my classes about an event, and the Granada was hosting a metal showcase that I was able to secure tickets and a press pass to. So I went to that, and I was very nervous at first because it was just me going alone. I didn't have any friends go with me to this concert, and it can be very daunting because a big part of metal culture is mosh pits, and you know, it's angry music. It's a community that allows people to express their anger in a safe way. And so I was very nervous to go on my own. But once I got there, everybody that I interacted with was super supportive and kind, and it was a very tight-knit community, and even though they're super welcome to other people joining, they really do value that tight-knit community that they have formed, and it was such a nice experience to have. I'd made a battle jacket to go to the event in, and I got compliments on it, and I felt like I was a part of the community already, even though this was the first metal concert I've been to. It was super loud. Definitely wish I'd invested in some earplugs for my first time, but it was super cool, and I really got to learn what subgenres I enjoyed, because this showcase was specifically death and thrash metal, but there are other subgenres that have popped up since the emergence of metal in the 1960s, such as Christian metal and glam metal. There's of course death and thrash metal, heavy metal. There's so many different subgenres that there's really something for everybody. So the first band that performed was Sacred Reich. They were one of the openers. They are actually from the 1980s. They formed in 1985. And they seemed to be a pioneer of thrash metal. And so it was really cool to get to hear kind of the original thrash metal. And I was also able to see a newer thrash metal band, Municipal Waste, who is from Virginia and formed in 2001. And it was really cool to get to see two sides of the same coin, with the classic thrash metal from the 80s when it first formed, and then how it's evolved into what it is now. The third opener that they'd had was Creeping Death, which is a death metal band that formed in 2015 out of Texas. And overall, it was a super amazing experience. Death metal is a bit much for me. It's a bit too loud and too angry for me. But I really did enjoy the experience, and it really opened me up to the other subgenres in the metal scene, and allowed me to experience, the full spectrum of metal. The last band that performed was Carcass. They were actually the headliner of the show. They formed in the UK in 1985 and are known to be the pioneers of death metal and grindcore. Grindcore is essentially a fusion of heavy metal and hardcore punk, and it was super cool to get to see, all of these different bands that love the same community come together and do a performance, as a showcase, and see essentially the evolution of metal. The metal scene has served as a community for expression for the past 50 years, and it's honestly, a showcase like this is a great entry point for new fans, because, several different bands play at one concert, and these bands can be from different subgenres of metal, and it really is a great way to expose new fans to the different subgenres that exist and help them find their niche sect that they can really connect with and enjoy. Overall, it was a wonderful experience. I definitely want to go to more metal shows in the future. Everyone was super sweet and super helpful. Many people were telling me, where I should stand to be able to stay out of the mosh pit, because I did not want to get inside the mosh pit, and I felt very awkward going up and getting behind the barrier since I was the only one with a press pass at the period of time I was there. Um, but nobody gave me weird looks, and people actually helped me out and helped me maneuver my way through the crowd so I could get up there. And it's such a welcoming community, and I definitely recommend, if it's something that's piqued your interest, look into it a bit more, try it out. If it's not your thing, that's fine, but if it is, you might have found a great new community to connect with. That's the end of my segment for this week. We've got a new segment coming up right after this, and I will see you guys next week.